podcast dedicated to exposing wrongful convictions and demanding justice reform in America's criminal legal system. I'm Rebecca, your host. If you're just tuning in, this is the second half of my in-depth conversation with Scott Barmore, a man whose story highlights the complexities, heartbreak, and hope that can exist within our legal system. In the first half, Scott courageously shared the events that led to his arrest, accepting responsibility for his original charges, only to face a new set of robbery allegations while on parole. He described the fear and confusion of turning himself in without legal counsel, the shock of being sentenced to 60 years to life, and the devastating reality of being convicted on new charges without an evidentiary hearing. We also uncovered the state's claim that Scott didn't finish high school, a claim contradicted by documented records showing he had already graduated. Scott's experience isn't just one man's story. It's a window into the broader issues of due process, the importance of fair hearings, and the life-altering impact of decisions made behind courtroom doors. If you missed the first half, I encourage you to go back and listen for the full context and emotional depth of Scott's journey. Now, in this second half, Scott opens up about what life is like after sentencing, the daily realities and challenges of pursuing appeals from behind bars, and how he manages to hold on to hope and dignity in the face of adversity. Let's return now to my interview with Scott Barmore.
That's how I'm here, and I've been fighting ever since. I've been fighting ever since, and it's almost been 26 years. It's just up there. I haven't even gotten into a fight. I haven't gotten into no violent incidences. I have not had any kind of major write-ups or nothing. You know, I'm not a violent person, even though I was painted that way. But 26 years of my life attest that I'm not. I came here when I was 20, you know?
Right. Tell us about some of the work that you've been doing since you've been incarcerated. Some of the programs that you're involved in.
Yeah. So my time in here has been spent productively. I embrace my role as a mentor, to the next generation. I completed many rehabilitative programs. I'm now a certified personal fitness trainer and nutrition specialist. I got my certification through U.S. Career Institute. I learned many different trades. I learned how to barber. I was a staff barber. I used to cut the warden's hair and all of that. Right? So I trained myself, taught myself how to cut hair. I also currently I am a facilitator in a re-entry program here. There's a class called Second Opportunity, and I facilitate that. I'm also the clerk for Restorative Justice Organization, and I'm also a facilitator for Restorative Justice also. I created my own class called TIPS, which is an acronym for Trauma-Informed Practices, and it's basically 6 lessons on being trauma-informed, from understanding the different forms of trauma, adverse childhood experiences, vicarious trauma, all of that. So, because what I learned is no matter how much you change your attitude or your behavior, if you do not acknowledge the trauma that someone you have went through in the past, especially when you were a child, all of that stuff could just creep back up, you know. And so I was teaching a re-entry class, Second Opportunity, and I was helping guys with re-entering society, like how to get a driver's license, birth certificate, to do interviews, different soft skills, even hard skills, how to get an apprenticeship, all of those things, just helping guys to learn, understand that before they go home. So people who are less than a year short, or are less than a year short, they come to this class to get taught those things. In reentry, we also hook them up with employers, right? They can interview somebody in the office. We give them personality tests so that they can understand more about themselves and what they do like and what job skills they already possess. And I just mentor every day. Every day I walk around here, you know, I live what I talk as opposed to just talking. So my thing is that when I go home, nothing will ever change except my clothes and my location.
Right.
My principles, my morals, values, my habits are transferable right now to go home. I'm not waiting to be free. Every time that I'm doing something that is a benefit for me to go home, I call that packing my bags. So when I teach a class, that's me packing my bags. When I help someone and mentor them, that's me packing my bags. When I refuse to submit to some type of drug or some type of anger or behavior that is not worthy of me to be part of, that's me packing my bags, right? So I'm continuously packing my bags every day until, you know, that bus shows up. They ready to open the door for me. Yep.
Now, have you filed any appeals lately, or do you have anything in the works in the courts?
So, as of now, no, the last thing I filed was in 2006, so 19 years ago. So I had got into it. I was in this prison here. It's called Potosi. It's like a death row prison with death row inmates and their time. And I did my first few years in Potosi. And, you know, it's not the easiest place, or at that time, over 20-something years ago, it wasn't the easiest place for a young black man to live. And, you know, I felt targeted. And bottom line is, whether it was real or imagined, I snapped out, I cussed the guard out. It's the most I did. The worst violation I got since I've been incarcerated. And they locked me up in the hole for cussing the CNO out. And I was in the process of mailing my legal work in. And I never got my legal mail while I was down in the hole. And I got procedurally barred because I was late for trying to get my legal mail.
Oh, wow.
And that mistake of me not being able to control my anger in that moment, I was 21 years old, and I couldn't control my anger in that moment. It procedurally barred me, even to this day. So there are ways to get around that, right? There's different things that I can file, but as of right now, I haven't, because I really just want to get all of my ducks in a row before I file a habeas corpus.
Right. Yeah, because you only get like one shot at those, and you don't want to mess that up.
Yeah, I just want to make sure. Yeah, I want to make sure I do it right. So that's the process I'm going through right now. I'm doing all of these things right here. I'm preparing myself for that.
I understand that.
Yeah.
If there is anything that you can think of, any kind of advice that you would give to your younger self, what would you say?
I think I would tell my younger self to focus more on learning yourself. I just talked to my niece today. That's what I told her. She said that she's 14. Her mother, my younger sister, Desiree James, died in a car crash on July 5th, 2020 when she was 30 years old. A drunk driver hit her and killed her and the driver of the car. And my little sister had 2 daughters and a son. And her oldest daughter is 14 now. And she was telling me today that she wants to know herself more, focus on herself more, pay attention to her own needs. And what I would tell myself is the same thing that I told her. Understand what your likes and your dislikes are. Why you behave the way you do, why do you think the way you do.
Right.
Question life. Question yourself in relation to life more. right? Knowledge of self. So the bottom line of what I would tell myself is learn learn yourself more. Because I didn't know myself until I came to prison. I grew up in here. Unfortunately, I grew up. I was not a man when I came here. I was 20. I was an emerging adult, right? That's what they call it, emerging adult.
Right.
And, my brain was not fully developed. I didn't understand. I didn't even understand what that time meant when they gave it to me. I didn't understand what that. I'm just like, man, that's a long time. And now I feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like that. It is a long time. And even if I got my sentence today, with what I have left, it'll still be a long time. It's still another 24 years, that they want me to do. So,
that seems really excessive to me for time for a robbery.
Yeah, it is. And, I'm going to tell you something, Rebecca. I don't hold grudges. I'm not revengeful or resentful of the judge, prosecutor, police detectives, even the victims. No one. I hold no negative feelings for anyone because it's me being in here and going through this. This is a part of my journey, no matter what. There's sometimes, we go through stuff and we don't like where we are, but I realize that life is not ideal. It is not a picket fences and the dog and the marriage and it doesn't really happen like that. So the things that happen in life, you try to make the best out of life, but when things don't go the way that you imagine them to, I just don't feed on that energy because I could be in the hole or I could be dead. I could be miserable and sad and have no. And if I fed those type of thoughts, that's exactly what will happen to me. I will lose my support. I will lose my sanity. So.
Yep. Absolutely. There's a few that I've done interviews with who have the same kind of mindset as you, like facing long time, and they're focused on how they can help other people.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
So that's really cool that you're able to keep that mindset. That's important.
A lot of us. So what I know is, like I have a guy who he's 18. There's a guy that I mentor here. He's 18. He's been locked up since he was 12.
Oh, wow.
He started off in juvenile. He came here. He's 18, and he has maybe about 8 or 9 years left before he goes home. So he's still go home in his 20s. But I mentor him. I have him interning, quote unquote interning. Here's a total justice, so I just have him doing all the paperwork, doing paper, cleaning, taking trash out, little stuff like that, trying to help him with responsibility. We discuss things. I have him put, the date, and I let him choose a quote to write on the paper every day. We have a big whiteboard. I told him to put the quote and the date up there every day you come in. And I give him odds and ends. He's going for his GED. Hopefully he'll take the GED the next 2 weeks, trying to pass on something good to him, and that's fulfillment for me. I feel fulfilled when I see that the work that I'm doing with him is paying off.
That's a good feeling.
When I see him, it's a wonderful feeling, and when I see him, I see me. And I think that's the ultimate thing of life. When you see other people and you see yourself, that is when you know you have love that really exists inside of you. Because ultimately, I believe we're all one anyway. So what I do for someone else, I am doing for myself. So the act of selfishness can be seen as a selflessness.
Well, and maybe too, with what you're doing to help this young man, you're giving him the tools that he needs, that when he goes out there, he might not come back.
Yeah, that's the goal. That is the goal.
Because we gotta get these people out of these prisons and keep making them slaves to the prison system.
That's my goal. I don't know if you know what is his name? What's the name of the guy who wrote the book about the whale?
The story Moby Dick?
Yeah, what's his name?
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Me too. Well, whatever his name is, we'll figure it out in a minute, but what's more important than his name is what he said. And he said that there are two most important days in your life, when you were born and when you find out why you were born. Yep. And I always remember that. When I found out why I was born, my life has purpose from that point. And everything that I do in my life should be with that in mind, that purpose in mind. If I'm doing things, right, that is outside of the purview of my purpose, then it is easy for me to go astray. It's easy for me to fail and slip and to accept it. Right? So I found my purpose years ago. So when I found my purpose, that's where you get your happiness. That's where you find out that, this is what life is.
Yep.
A better life, And, so anyway.
And it was Herman Melville.
Herman Melville?
Yep.
Oh, man, wait a minute. Okay, so that wasn't him that said that. It was another guy. There's another famous person. That's not the right name, though. Herman Melville wrote one for you right. But there's another guy who made that quote. I don't know who said it. I just know I like it because it's true.
That's right. For sure.
So every day, that's what I do. And I'm trying to just constantly get the word out on my cases. While we have change.org with my petition on it, the Facebook, the website, the interviews, but talking to legal consultants and different people who can help lawyers, investigators, that's what we're focused on now. But there's not really much else to my case. It's real simple. I didn't do it. Someone else did. And that's another thing. One robbery, the one-stop liquor, when the police came to the store, the victims, two of them, immediately identified another man by name. They said, we know who robbed us. This is the guy. He comes in here every day. And they seen his name.
Wow.
So the police, apparently, they said that they interviewed the guy and, they believe he had an alibi. He was picking his girlfriend up from work or something. She vouched for him. And that was the end of that. And like I said, these robberies happened 7 months. For 7 months, 3 months, and 2 months, they had no suspect, period. It was not until me and my girlfriend got into that argument that night and they arrested her did I become a suspect. So if that night we never got into that argument, I may never have been a suspect. They may have really found who did it, or they would still be unsolved.
It's crazy. See, and that's what needs to change because, so many people are getting convicted based on what one person says with no evidence to even back it up.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you believe in God or not, but in the Bible it says you're supposed to have 2 witnesses. So, I don't understand how everybody's getting convicted like they are when the courts are not even abiding by the law. You can't just go out here and say somebody did something and then, he's guilty.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's what they've been doing. And I definitely do know that God exists 100%. But that's what keeps me strong, because if I didn't have faith, I would not have made it where I am today.
Well, I understand that one.
I'm not. Yeah, absolutely. God is definitely a powerful force in my life. And I'm not a big person on books like the Bible or Quran or Bhagavad Gita or anything. I'm not a big book person, but I do, I study many of them, right? But most important for me is that God lives inside of me.
That's right.
It's like in the Bible it says, greater is he who lives in me than he who is in the world. Alright, so greater is he, greater is the God, that entity that lives inside of me, that breathing spirit inside of me, than anything that is in the world. So with that being said, that power I draw a lot of my strength from. When the things in the world baffle me or confuse me or cause me to become angry or upset or depressed, I rely on that strength from inside of me in order to stay grounded and focused on what I'm here for. So yeah, I do. God is real. And without that understanding of what God is, who God is, yeah, I'll probably be insane on all type of different psychotropic medications right now.
Absolutely. And I can't say that I would blame you either, because to be sitting where you're sitting for as long as that you have been locked up and not have Jesus, it would drive anybody crazy.
Yeah.
If you guys want to check out Scott's Facebook page, it's just search Scott Barmore, Baremore. And then your website is Barmore, yeah. Sorry about that, Scott.
That's okay, it happens all the time.
And then there's justiceforscottbarmore.com is the website. You can read all about his case on there. Look at the appeals that were filed. This is this is bigger than a one-person problem. This is bigger than a one-state problem. However, I will say Missouri is leading the charge right now with wrongful convictions. Just saying. You're the third or fourth person that I've talked to that has been in jail or been in prison for at least 20 years.
Yeah.
In the state of Missouri. It's crazy. But this is an epidemic that's happening all across the United States. These people in power have way too much power, and they need to be held accountable.
Yeah.
So if any lawyers or investigators or anything are listening in, Scott needs some help, y'all. But definitely go check out his pages and give him some love. I mean, send him a letter. Y'all don't know how far just getting a letter in the mail goes. Like, that's enough to brighten anybody's day.
Right about that. And I appreciate you for giving me this opportunity to share my story with your listeners. Really appreciate it. It's extremely valuable to my life and things that I am trying to do. Thank you.
It is absolutely my pleasure. Is there anything else you would like to say before we get off this?
Good. So, as far as mailing letters, you gave all the information correct, except they can't. So, Missouri has stopped paper mail from coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So, what they do now is you have to mail all of our mail to, if it's physical mail, they have to mail it to Florida. There's a digital mail center in Florida, and that's what it's called. It's called Digital Mail Center Missouri DOC PO Box 25678 Tampa, Florida 33622. So just put my name and my DOC number, which is 1011717, and I'll get it that way. What they do is they copy it and they will send the letter back. I'm not sure if they mail the letter back or not, but yeah, they do. They photocopy it, send it to me on my tablet, and they mail it back to the person. So that is how we get mail. And they stopped it because of this, drug epidemic. People spraying stuff, putting it on paper. So they stopped legal paper mail from coming in.
Right. Yeah, they've done that here in Ohio too.
Yeah.
It goes to a central office, and they have a processing person who processes all the mail, and then you get a cute little picture on your tablet.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we got these tablets too. But yeah, besides that, I would just like people to just be aware, and even if they don't find it in their heart to help me, find it in your heart to help somebody who has been wrongfully convicted or excessively sentenced. Because, as Rebecca said, this is an epidemic that needs to be changed, and it will only be changed if the people let it be known that they won't stand for it. Without public opinion, in regards to people being wrongfully convicted and excessively sentenced, it's going to continue to happen.
Absolutely.
And I know there are a lot of, even in the news, there's a lot of fear going on with, who who criminals are. A lot of that is political grandstanding that people use those platforms to push certain agendas.
Yep.
Many people who are incarcerated do not belong here. If we study Norway prison system, right, we see how other countries recidivism rates are going down. They're more concerned about a person's rehabilitation as opposed to retribution and punishment. We'll find that once we start investing in men and women who are incarcerated, we come home as the leaders.
Calls from a correctional facility and may be monitored and recorded.
We come home as the leaders we're supposed to be. And so that's where my focus is. While I'm here creating classes, being that voice of reason, being that help and advisor, right? And I also need help. I have advisors, I have teachers, right, that help guide me along the way as well. So, just like I said, that's the main thing. If somebody wants to help me, thank you. I really appreciate you. We're going to work together good. All right, if you don't, find it in your heart and help someone else who's going through a similar or worse situation than what I am. Because there are many people who are going through this struggle. And this struggle is real.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Scott, for sharing your story with us. I really appreciate you talking to me tonight.
Yes, thank you. I really appreciate you for allowing me to do so.
If Scott's story has made an impact on you, here are some ways you can help drive change. Share this episode far and wide on social media, with friends, family, and anyone who cares about justice. Raising awareness is the first step towards holding people accountable. If you're a legal professional, especially with experience in post-conviction or appellate work, we invite you to reach out. Your insight could be the key to unlocking new possibilities, not only in Scott's case, but any of the other cases that we have handled. Support our cause by making a donation. Your contributions help us secure vital court records, expert analysis, and the resources needed to pursue truth and justice for people like Scott. Every contribution, big or small, makes a difference. Visit wickedlyjudged.com to purchase merchandise. Every item you buy not only spreads awareness, but also directly supports our advocacy and investigative efforts. Stay connected and stay informed. Follow Wickedly Judged on your favorite podcast platform. Visit wickedlyjudged.com for updates. Keep the facts in focus. Remind others. Scott was convicted on new charges without an evidentiary hearing, and his high school graduation is a matter of public record. These details matter. If they will lie about something as simple as a graduation, who's to say they're not lying about the facts of the case? The facts and the truth deserve to be heard. We can't do this work alone. Your voice, your share, your support, and your purchases all help push cases like Scott's toward the fair day in court every person deserves. Before we close, I want to sincerely thank our sponsor, Veteran Alliance, for making this episode possible, and JP Verse of Versefire Records for our powerful intro and outro music. Remember, justice isn't a feeling, it's a process. And when that process fails, challenging the outcome is not just a right, but a responsibility. As always, stay informed, stay vigilant, and stay hopeful. Question everything, because nobody deserves to be wickedly judged.